You keep asking me all the time, like with all the Albanians when we're together, why are they so loyal? I just think it's a cultural thing. You know, when you come from a country, when you come from a country that's struggled over the years through its history and suppressed, and they live a harder life, I think that you have a culture that thinks different. We are, you know, you're almost family oriented with your whole country.
So your countrymen are like family men, and it's a small country, Albania.
Yeah, a couple of million,
But
3
it's,
million people.
but it's different. So Mike and I, we come from Irish backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
And Irish people, hey, listen, fellow Irishmen, it's good to see that. Yeah. But we're not going to back each other the same way Albanians back you. It's an amazing thing to watch. I look at the comments.
I mean, I Conor McGregor, he's an Irishman.
I like him too.
Yeah,
But
I mean, so I connect with his Irishness. I think he's a little bit like Trump, brash, a little like myself. You know, sometimes outspokenly foolish, but yeah, I think he has a good heart overall. I think I've seen some real humanistic things of him recently.
I just don't think there's the same backing with other heritages that I see with Albanians. You see people sending pictures on the comments. They're doing the thumbs.
I think it's so. Who's another famous Albanian?
Like me, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's different ones, but not in my genre.
But,
you know.
Well, so you're in the let's say the wise guy mafia, you know,
genre,
and I've never heard of an Albanian. Never mind a famous Albanian, and that's not to be disparaging. That's like, what do I know? I know I can throw maybe a dozen Irishmen if I had think long and hard. Doherty was an IRA bomber, right? Right. So there's a few that you can come up with. You know, Conor McGregor. Jerry Cooney, American Irishman. So the examples in the world that we have to lean on as Irishmen aren't. I mean, listen. Irishmen have made great accomplishments over the years, and I would maybe beg to differ with you that the Irishmen they rally around a guy like O'Connor, but he's an American Albanian. So, for example, if we went to Ireland tomorrow, they probably have pictures of MMA fighter O'Connor everywhere, right? But here's a guy who's an American of Albanian descent that they've embraced and raised up.
Is it just the pool is lower? And I'm not. This isn't a disparaging thing against Albanians. It's like Mike said. I don't know of any other somebody of Albanian heritage who's raised your stature.
I'll explain why. In our culture, because of the suppression since the Ottoman days and the wars and the fight and the grit and we have like a big honor thing for ourselves that when my grandfather raised me as a kid, I would sit on his knee and I'd listen to Albanian music, right? It'd be on the radio. Wow. And you see the artifacts we have here, the Albanian stuff, the Albanian, I got it on my body.
Right.
And I tattooed on my body. You know, I'm an Albanian. I was raised in America, but I never forgot our culture. I mean, at 15, I had Albanian flags tattooed on my body.
Right.
And I've always kept Albanian flags in my house, on my walls, pictures, and I never forget our culture. You see, I talk to everybody's Albanian around the world. I call everybody, they call me. And I got this respect for our country because we grew up so hard than the people did, but yet we love, even though it's a tough existence there, we love to be
the struggle,
proud of ourselves.
You love the struggle.
I love the struggle, and I love the underdog.
Right.
And so I can relate to everything about our culture. And so when I fight back, they fight back for me.
Right.
Because they stand by your side.
And Irish has that, by the way. You know, we've been oppressed by the British, 900 years? Is it?
Yeah. So, I'm different. I'm Northern Irish. So I actually have pictures of my great-grandfather's brothers celebrating the day that English overtook Ireland. So it's a little bit different. I'm not Southern Irish. I'm Northern Irish.
But you see the culture, like when you're with me when we meet, a lot of you were with me in restaurants. They are so accepting and so hospitable as the Albanians are. And so if you come with me, they open their door the same way for our friends out of respect for me, they'll do it for you.
Right.
You know, we all, especially if something's sad, something happens in a family, you'll see us all bow a little bit, touch our hearts.
Right.
You know, we show a lot of respect for each other. We don't go against each other. Sometimes when I see Albanians that go against me in whatever it is, I look at them, and even if I don't say something, sometimes I say something. I look at them and I'm wondering, who their father was, because they're not disrespecting me. They're disrespecting their family line. They're disrespecting
Well, John,
their
so
father.
to be fair, maybe they don't like what you did.
Yeah, they can not like it or not. They could be opinionated, but to themselves, not verbally against another Albanian.
Is that how?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
okay, guys?
So
is
if
that the
they-
rule? That's the rule.
yeah.
I'm learning a lot here.
Yeah, that's the
So,
rule.
I would never.
I mean,
like-
because a lot of cops don't like what I did.
You know,
but-
you know how many guys I wanted to hurt and they were Albanian, I didn't hurt them. And I tell people, even in our country, in our culture, don't do it. He's Albanian, right? Let it go. Because he's one of us.
That's why you don't break Mike Falace's balls, because he's got Albanian
Mike,
in him.
that's why I like Mike. He's half Albanian.
Like,
Did you
Jesus,
know that?
man.
Mike's half
That's why
Albanian.
Mike and I
you
get
did
along.
you did
So-
tell me, and I forget oftentimes. But
So
yes.
you don't have to agree with I don't like every Albanian that's out there, but I will respect every Albanian that's out there.
Because they're Albanian.
Because they're Albanian, I want, and I'll try to.
So if they
I
did
try to
wrong and they're
guide them.
Albanian, you still give them some slack.
I try to guide them, and I try to respect them. And I'll try to, if I know them or if I know somebody that knows them, I'd say talk to them. There's an old man that I like. He's a great guy, but his son's really a piece of shit. And I told the son, every time you open your mouth, you're disrespecting your father, because your father's got a good name, your family name is good. I said, but you're fucking garbage. I says, and you better remember, every time you do something, it reflects on your family's name. So you try to give him something.
So where's that guy
because we have
today?
an old cultural. Listen,
Where's that guy today?
if it was my old self years ago,
Yeah.
he would have been in a hospital.
Right.
He's now. I let it go as a pass, and he apologized. And
Okay.
I don't.
So he came around.
He came around out of fear. He didn't come out of agreement.
Okay.
And the difference is, again, here in the United States, people like what's going on, the conflict in Russia and Ukraine.
Right.
I like the people, right, on both sides. I got friends on both sides,
Right.
and some family members
Right.
on one side. But I don't like their leadership. So when I hear this in the media about freedom, Zelensky's not running a free country in Ukraine like everybody believes in propaganda, because it's one of the most corrupt governments around. It's poor because of the corruption, first. Second, he's locked up journalists that didn't agree with him. That's not a free country.
Didn't they go after journalists in our country this week?
Yeah.
Well, that's-
what
I
talked
heard about
that.
this. I
Yeah,
never saw
yeah,
it though.
yeah.
There's some
Where
key
did this happen?
lessons. There's some key lessons here to learn from Albania in the United States.
Absolutely.
In
Yeah.
the hey, we're all human beings. We're all brothers, sisters, male, female type of things. But
Trans.
we're all inclusive, and that's one of the things we've got to remember. We should back each other the same way Albanians back each other.
Well, you have, and everybody has this belief about Albanians are all gangsters. It's not true. 9/10 of Albanians are very hard-working people, like Genti. They came here, the doctor, who's a neurosurgeon. Or, you have different people like the Belushi brothers as actors. Over the years, are Albanian.
I didn't know
Or,
they were- I didn't know they were
or
Albanian.
Joe DiMaggio was half Albanian. So you have a lot of famous people that are Albanian people don't know. Or Dua Lipa, she's father's from Kosovo.
What
is
a great,
Albanian.
what a great singer.
And I
what a
can
great
name-
concert.
yeah.
Thanks for inviting me to that concert,
No,
guys.
you know
I
what? If
appreciate
you were
it.
in the town, we would.
You got guys like Dennis Bukasha that we went to the fights, who's come up and coming fighter, UFC guy. And you have guys like CapitalT, a great singer, and a gentleman. I mean, a really a gentleman. It's an honor to say that he's Albanian to people. So you have some good people that people don't know. A million restaurant owners like my friend Izzy.
Well,
and different
hold
guys.
on, John. You made a point to this when we were at the concert. Remember? You were pissed. Be honest. Be
yeah,
honest.
I wasn't
And
happy.
why were you pissed?
I wasn't happy because they didn't have the artifacts and shirts with the Albanian flag.
None of it.
And now the father's a true Albanian. The parents are. She is. I just think the people that were running her PR of that
They
should
missed
have
the
had.
they missed the boat.
They missed the boat because listen,
The
I know-
fervor from that one country would resonate.
Yes, and they love
be
it.
attractive.
And there's times when Dua Lipa will go out and give the sign of the flamu, and she'll make comments. At this concert, we didn't stay for the whole thing. We did it as a promotion. We went there. And I wanted to support her as an Albanian, but I didn't like the fact that I didn't see Albanian flags all over. You
Right.
know, I made comments.
I know
there.
you were upset.
I was upset about it. I went to how many
the
souvenir
vendors.
booths
You went to the
looking.
vendors too.
Yeah, I went to the vendors. Why weren't they
and
showing?
the guys are like, I never thought of that. It's a
Because
black
every
guy
Albanian
too, right?
that's successful is a motivation for the next Albanian.
Right.
And that's what I want to see is the Albanian culture keep coming up.
Right, which comes back to my original statement. We don't really know.
The guy that wrote my book, that did my cover of my book. You see the cover, that photo shoot all the way to the right. That's Fidel Berisha. one of the nicest guys around, successful photographer in Manhattan, New York. He does Miss America, and he does all the tennis plays. Does a lot of rappers like Snoop Dogg and different. I mean, fantastic human being. Forget it, his talent's amazing, but as a human being, he's exactly for the next person to grow up and say, "This is why I respect this culture." And same in my
So
situation.
he happens to be Albanian, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
to be Albanian, but he's an Albanian that helps
Right.
others, never turns his back. Today we're going to have a singer on that's going to come on. It's Remy, that's an Albanian singer. And so, we have different people. I want to show that, I'm proud of our culture. It's not always about, but the one thing that they follow me for and the love for me is not being a quitter, to continue striving and also never forgetting our culture. This is, and I won't forget our culture ever to the day I die. Sometimes people say to you, in your heart and in your veins, I'm Albanian, but I'm American. So
Right.
I'm very patriotic with America. Everybody knows. I got nothing but respect for this country, for our fallen soldiers, for police officers, for veterans. The thing that made this country great is the people I just mentioned. The thing that makes Albania great is because they're trying to become a smaller America. In their hearts, everybody wants that dream, the American dream.
They were suppressed by communism for, I guess, 100 years or
Thousands, forget
no.
since the Ottoman days.
Oh,
So we've been a
but that wasn't
suppressed
communist.
country.
It was just.
Well, it was suppression. It was
I don't
slave.
know. I don't know.
We were slaves. So when people say to me, I come from a tough background. We come from being slaved. We come from taking over from the Turks. We come from the wars and communism with Hoxha. We developed into being famous culture. Before, people didn't know what Albania was. If you asked when I was a kid, they never even heard of it. Now you have, you go to Calabria, it's half Albanian there. You go to Bari, Italy, it's half Albanian. You go to Belgium, UK, there's big communities, Switzerland, Germany, they're all
So a
Albanians.
lot of Albanians fled the oppression.
Fled into different areas, cultures.
Because of the oppression.
Because of the oppression, and became successful.
Spreading the Albanian culture, which is yours, throughout the world.
But you act like the Ottoman Empire didn't end all that long ago. What, in 1938, the Ottoman Empire fell? I mean, it's pretty recent.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty recent. Yeah.
So the Albanians have been suppressed up, that long throughout history.
Hundreds of years,
Yeah.
and we were.
Well, so this is a history lesson for me because I feel like I'm missing something because I
You see the endearment I get when
know.
we're on the street.
Listen, it's insane.
So when
It's
people
insane.
try to turn my culture against me, I laugh. They don't understand, our hearts. They don't.
Even though
understand.
John's been involved in bad things, he's an overcomer.
Well, did he change his life?
Yes, I did.
There
Yes,
you go.
did.
And my message is for everybody to say yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
And and when people say to me, "Geez, you grew up hating police," I says, "I grew up in a bad way. I don't hate the police."
Did you change your life?
Yes, I did. Do I stick
Hashtag
up
yes,
for the
I
police?
did.
Do I speak for our police officers? Yes, I do. Yes, I did. Do I go and I do events for fallen officers? Yes, I do, and yes, I did. When I look at veterans that sacrificed their lives, like a group of my friends, you can't forget that this is one of the greatest countries around. And when people ask me, why am I so pro-Trump? Because Trump was pro-America. America first, take care of your people, and you can always be kind to another nation, but take care of what's here. And then the stronger we are, people tell you all the time in therapy, if
You don't
wanna
take care of yourself,
you can't take care of nobody
your
else.
family members.
So with
First day of the police academy.
So when Trump is saying pro-America, take care of ourselves, and we can always help others. But you got to start at
You
home.
have a strong foundation.
So policies, they could say what they want. Everything was good in this country a year and a half ago.
Right.
What's going on is a disaster, and our freedoms are being lost further and further. And when you can't talk about whatever you want to speak about, you're losing freedom in this country. And people need to wake up to that. But everybody in Albania, the best.
Subscribe, hit the button.
Yes, I did. Hashtag it.
I
Yes,
love
I
us.
did.
Love Albanians.
The Mike Dowd on Instagram and Facebook, Michael Dowd.
At Real Kevin Donaldson, and of course, at True John Elite.
See you guys.
Hit the button.
Good, right? The Albanian, we got big following. That's why
Once I started reading through.
When you guys are saying the yes I did, because I want to cut that into. So when you guys are saying like use hashtag yes I did on Instagram, make sure you tag us in the post. You want to include that in there.
Yeah.
The other thing is yes I did hashtag. especially if they're taking like pictures or stuff like that. Like those things you just want to do. So if we could plug that in there, it would be a good way to kind of do it. Just one more time.
We'll do the end again. So at the Mike Dowd, Real Kevin Donaldson, True John Elite. Hashtag yes I did. Don't forget to tag us.
You know, tag True John Elite. I know we have to do that. You know, tag True John Elite. You'll see the notifications. So when they say like yes I did, it'll pop up underneath it.
Then you could do it. You got a whole other show of doing hashtag yes I did. Who tagged you? Who tagged you? Who tagged you?
Listen, DJs do it all the time on the radio. They'll be like, hey, what are you doing in your cars? Da 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 da. Listen, put hashtag blah blah blah. Let me know where you're at, and I'll give you a shout out.
Yeah.
Simple. Okay.
So everybody that watch our show, the John Elite, the mob, the mafia, and the men, and don't forget to yes I did follow me. It changed my life. You can change yours also.
At the Mike Dowd on Instagram and Michael Dowd on Facebook.
At Real Kevin Donaldson and at True John Elite. Don't forget to hashtag yes I did and tag us, and we're gonna get to your posts in a future episode.
Shqipes, anything you want, write a comment, send
Subscribe.
a message. JohnElite.com, the website, all our books, all our bats, anything in the future, any talks we're doing, it's all up on there. If you want anybody to invite us to a podcast, to any kind of shows, weddings, events, you can hit us up on the website, JohnElite.com. Don't forget, subscribe. See you guys. Albanian, love yous. America, #1.